Hi there, welcome to this devotion. There's this ancient Hebrew word, minyan, which means number. And it's not to be confused with those little yellow guys in that cartoon, Despicable Me. I must say, those little yellow guys, their strength lies in their vast numbers. But still, not to be confused with the Hebrew word, minyan, that means number. And the Jews referred to it as the number of people needed for a quorum to have worship, to get together as a service. And why would they want 10 people? Well, they don't just grab numbers out the air, these guys. The origin is to a prayer or a negotiation that Abraham had with God in Genesis 18. Abraham asked God not to destroy Sodom if there were 50 believers in that town, and God agrees. Abraham then negotiates God down to 40 and then 30 and eventually gets down to 10. And God agrees he's not going to destroy this place called Sodom if there are 10 righteous men. So the Jews take this number 10 to be the least number that they need to have a worship session. And they refer to that as a minyan. We have a minyan. Let's worship. Then in Matthew chapter 18, and it's coincidence of course, in Matthew chapter 18, Jesus turns this teaching on its head. If there's ill feeling between two of you, the one offended, Jesus says, the poor innocent person, the poor one that was on the receiving end of being offended, that one must go and make peace, Jesus says in Matthew 18. Which is a bit harsh if you think about it, because the responsibility to make peace lies with the innocent person. But then again, it's also logical, because that person will keep on offending you and offending you without even knowing it. How many times would he offend you, or that person offend you? And how many times have we seen it where the person is oblivious to offending people around them? So the responsibility lays with the one that's being offended. And until the one being offended goes and speaks to the person about what they find offensive, it'll keep happening. So it's quite logical. So Jesus says, if you're offended, go and speak to the person that has offended you. And if that person is not willing to listen, well, get two or three guys from church, or two or three guys together, and try again. If that person still doesn't want to listen to you, well, get the church involved. And if that offensive person or the offender still doesn't want to cooperate and is not willing to make peace, well, treat that person as a pagan or a tax collector. Now, how does Jesus teach us how to treat pagans and tax collectors? Well, that's for next time. But anyway, after this, Jesus says that where two or three of you are gathered, and you're in this discussion, where you're in this debate trying to make peace, Jesus says he will be there in the midst. Jesus is teaching where two or three of you are having this difficult discussion, this difficult conversation, and you're working towards peace with each other. Jesus' teaching is that he is right there with you. You don't need to be 10. You don't need to be a minyan. You need to be in one mind, in agreement that peace is your priority, that peace is the objective. And when that happens, Jesus teaches that Jesus is among that folk, that number of people. So the number of people that meet, the minyan, is not the important part of the message there. Although I find it pretty cool. Being right or being justified and being offended is not even important neither. The most important message is that when you're hurt, when you're offended, go make peace. Is it going to be easy? Well, judging from what Jesus says, no, it's not. But we're told to go make peace anyway. I hope that Matthew 18 inspires you to go make peace in a world that is in dire need of peace. So may the Spirit of God be with you as you make peace. And may you feel the presence of God when two or three are gathered trying to make peace. Until we meet again, God bless.